Hey guys, what's up? Fur Daddy here. Today I'm going to make a video talking about basically what happened today. So if you are a crafter, you should know all too well sort of what happened this morning with the market. And I'm here to explain why that happened, why it was something we couldn't really anticipate, as well as what you can still do to make money despite all this stuff happening. So it's a bit of a doomsday situation, but what's important is not to panic. You are still in a position to make lots of money. I've already made like over 10 mil this morning, and that's without like just getting lucky. So let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to say, which might be a bitter pill, is that people have made a lot of money. There are a lot of people that have sold quite a bit of things. If people have done like the pre-orders, they've made quite a bit, as well as people just being lucky on the market board. When I streamed this morning, which by the way, thanks guys, I hit over 250 viewers on my stream, which was crazy. There was people in my chat saying that they made 65 mil, they made 50 mil, 25 mil, making 20 mil off individual weapons. So people did make money, and there is still money to be made. So the very first thing I want to do is I kind of want to go over like why this happened. So I'm going to go over the recipes that we had and compare them to the gear in the previous tier and show you what the problem is. So if you look at any of the new master recipes, we can see that they usually require this stuff like chondrite here, chondrite again. Sometimes they'll require star quartz or something like that. But the thing is the amount that you can get from high quality in the pre-crafts has been buffed like immensely. So not only has there been new actions added to crafters, which I suppose we could have anticipated, just the amount, and nobody really thought to take this into account with the calculations. The crafts that you can do are like way easier now. Not to mention the like pre-crafted items like chondrite ingots are laughably easy to get in high quality. So it's way easier than anybody thought it would be to craft this stuff. You can craft this stuff without pentamelting, and I think that's what is the most upsetting about this, right? Is like the people who spent time on pentamelting their gear didn't really have to. You can still make this gear with relatively low requirements, and in the description I'm going to post some low tier macros for people who have done safety melds, so you can check those out down there. But yeah, like I think that's pretty frustrating for people who have pentamelded their tools and stuff like that. Like they didn't really even have to. You can just use food and like mid-tier melds. You don't even have to overmeld at all. So just a rant for a second, like that's ridiculous to me that they even included pentamelding as an option if you get no reasonable benefit from it. If there's no gear that requires any sort of difficulty to craft, like why even have people be able to pentameld it? It's really silly, and that's not the case in the last expansion. So there are some other reasons. So that's the major one to me. I think that contributes to bots being able to undercut stuff really easily. Of course, another thing that I noticed is there isn't high quality mats in the because of I guess the gathering changes. But in the Tombstone exchange, usually it was like 30 and 50 to buy the high quality mats, which would split up the use that people used of their tombstones. But that's not really the case anymore. So instead, people just are able to buy these mats, and I think they made it easier to compensate, but I think that was ultimately a really bad idea. It's like super easy to craft, which means that bots can get onto it easier, and there's no sort of like skill required in it. It's just they're very easy macros. When we were putting the macros together in Discord, we were finding them very easy to assemble, and it was sort of crazy. So those are a few reasons, and of course the biggest reason, and like I guess if I'll take responsibility here, but like a lot of new people are into crafting, which just adds a lot more numbers to the supply. What was happening is, if you guys weren't online for it, in the first few hours, people were flooding the market board with items, but nobody was buying them at all. Like the raiders weren't even buying them yet. So the hardcore raiders did have people arranged to craft, and then yeah, we'll see how it does this afternoon, but ultimately the prices aren't going to be where we expected them to be. So how can you still make money with this? That requires some work on your end. So there are some really crazy margins right now and stuff. The margins on the end gear and tools seem to be about 10 or 20%, but there is still like some pretty good ways to make money. So the first thing that I suggest you do, this is a more general strategy because it's going to be different on every single data center. I was talking to a bunch of people in my Discord from all different data centers, and sometimes, you know, ingots were going, like lunar adamantite ingots were going for like 10K, and in other places they were going for like 70K. So now is the opportunity where cross-server arbitrage can really make your day if you can still get in with the queues how they are. So that means going to other servers, buying stuff for cheap. But also, I'll show you the market board here. If you just take a look at, like, for example, like lunar adamantite ingots, we can see that these are at a really good margin right now, 56K. We can see like the gold and silk going for 64K. So being able to keep an eye on this stuff is really good, right? Selling the intermediary craft seems to be the best money right now, but just keep an eye on the market, right? That's what I suggest you do right now. If you really still want to make money, still turn a profit, what I've been doing is basically just camping the market board, seeing where there is a window, and dealing with the undercutters as they appear. And again, as I said in my last video, undercutting ultimately doesn't make you guys any money. Like, this is why we're in the situation we are now, is people just doing aggressive undercutting. So I really don't suggest you guys do that still. Yeah, so in short, the way you guys should be making money now is processing the intermediary crafts, selling off your materia. The materia is still really expensive. So that is my suggestion for people who watched my last video. I wanted to put this video out just to sort of make sure that you guys can cover some of your losses, because I know that some people aren't in our Discord and theory crafting about it, and I wanted some people to see on YouTube, as well as sort of just complain. I think it's really BS how easy it is to craft stuff right now. Like, I'm all about crafting being accessible, but I think the point of this gear being 580 is that it's supposed to not immediately make the other 580 gear irrelevant, because it's supposed to be kind of hard to get, right? I don't think we really need catch-up mechanics this early on, so I guess I'd like to see your guys' thoughts about that in the description. What do you guys think about this? Let me know. I will be making more videos in the future. I have a moneymaker planned. I have some good moneymakers still. I'm just waiting for the market to settle down before I really talk about them. But there are some really good money-making opportunities that have presented themselves. So, like, for example, I'll just say this one really quick, but I will cover it in a full video. The materia transmuting right now, because the materia market's like plummeting, but the crafting materials is still really high. You can do materia transmutation. And if you don't know what that is, I will cover that in a future video. I just wanted to, like, pretty quickly come on here and touch on this stuff and see what you guys think. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the situation. And hopefully you guys can recoup your money that you spent on pentamelting with some of these methods that I have told you guys about. I know it's a pretty simple video and I didn't go super in depth, but I hope it's still useful for you guys. Just wanted to sort of touch base, and yeah, so you can join our Discord for more information and to sort of grieve with everybody. But yeah, good luck and Godspeed, fellow crafters.